Hello, I'm George Gibbs, and in the spring of 1853 I was stationed at Fort Vancouver in the Oregon Territory. My family remained in New York, and letters served as our only reliable means of sharing news, asking counsel, and making decisions across the continent. The letter you are about to hear was written to my mother on April 29, 1853, during a period when political appointments, territorial affairs, and personal prospects were all in motion in the Pacific Northwest. Fort Vancouver, April 29, 1853. My dearest mother, the steamer arrived yesterday, but without letters except one from Alfred, and to my surprise without Mr. Adair, so that I remain in office. I presume, however, that the next arrival will settle that matter, and in fact, as it is so soon to be, I am rather anxious than otherwise to get clear, for I want to go over to the Sound as soon as the weather is settled, and may perhaps cross to Vancouver's Island, as the trip will cost me little or nothing. I was obliged to finish my last letter very abruptly, for the Fremont returned the day before she was expected on her way back. I have written to Frank about coming to this country to go into business. You think that he is not mature enough for California. I do not believe that if he remains in New York, he will ever come to anything, for even if employed there, he would still be in the way of all the foppery of his school of youngsters, and he will not resist the temptation. Towns in this country are much less attractive to him, and I do not think that the grosser kinds of dissipation are in his way. If he can contrive to create a business on this side, by all means let him come. The longer he remains unemployed at home, the less chance there is for employment of any kind, for the very people who invite him about will therefore not trust him with business. Besides all this, there is no prospect for young men rising in New York except under very favorable circumstances. With any industry, he might make a fortune in trade here, while there he would be making a step at the desk. I would not, of course, advise him to come out naked and without something on hand, but if he exerts himself, he may get up something on account of others which will start him here. All Oregon except Astoria is busy with politics. We Whigs are very much rejoiced to hear of Pratt's rejection as Chief Justice and have some small hopes of defeating Lane, who has pretended to resign as governor in order to run again for Congress. Love to the girls. George. Please allow me to add that when I wrote this letter, several concerns occupied my mind. The uncertain rhythm of steamer arrivals and departures, the question of whether I would remain in office, the prospects of younger men contemplating a move across the continent, and the unsettled political climate in Oregon Territory during the final years of Whig influence. Our family had long taken an active interest in public affairs and in the early leadership of the nation, and those habits of attention, political, commercial, and personal, are reflected in this letter home. If you would like to read this letter in full, along with others from my papers, I invite you to visit alfredgibbs.com, where it is titled George Gibbs to His Dearest Mother, Fort Vancouver, April 29, 1853.